You know how much it will cost Americans in terms of their increased cost in gas and food over the next year because of the Iran war?
I would simply ask you what the cost is of an Iranian nuclear
I'm
bomb.
going to give you that
I would
opportunity.
simply ask you what the.
Yeah,
You're
but
playing gotcha
sir,
questions about
no, it's
domestic
not.
things. I'm not.
You're asking. You're saying it's a gotcha question to ask what it's going to be in terms of the increased
Why
cost
won't
of
you
gas
answer what
and
it
food?
costs to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear
I
bomb?
give you that, sir. But let me.
What
if you
would
could
it
just
cost?
ask my
What would you
question.
pay to ensure Iran doesn't
But
get a nuclear
can you,
bomb?
do you?
What would
Sir,
you pay?
I reclaim my time. Do you not know? You had no one do the analysis of what the increased cost of gas and food on the American people are going to be?
What is the cost of Iran
let me give
holding
you the
that
number.
straight at
Let me
issue
give
with
you the
nuclear
number.
weapons?
It's $631 billion, which means it's an increase of $5,000 a year for American households. Now, let me give you this point. You're saying that your operation is preventing a nuclear Iran. Will you acknowledge that there is an economic cost to the American people for doing what you believe is necessary to make Iran denuclear? Will you acknowledge the economic cost?
We have an incredible economic team that's managing this better than
but
what the previous
but
administration did to our economy, what the previous administration did with
don't even
inflation,
know what
what
what's
the previous
upsetting. I
administration
reclaim my
did with
time. You know,
COVID,
Secretary,
and you're going to lecture this
I reclaim
administration
my
about the
time, sir.
economy?
You know what is upsetting
Incredible.
to me? You didn't even do the analysis on how much it's costing the American people. It's one thing if you said, okay, it costs the American people $5,000, but we think it's worth it. That's what we've done in World War II and other wars. Here's what it costs. You got to pay for it. You don't even know what the average American is paying. You don't know what we paid in terms of the missiles that hit the Iranian school. You don't know what we're paying in terms of gas. You don't know what we're paying in terms of food. Your 25 billion number is totally off. It's the incompetence. It's
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm the Ratchet Christian.
I'm Gray Mars.
Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm Kamal.
And tonight, we have an announcement to make, a couple announcements. One, Ratchet Christian will be joining our team. Sound effects, Kamal, sound effects.
Oh, I got you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and we're so excited to have you. So her intro is coming soon, everybody. So it'll be out there. And secondly, guys, we will not be having the debate on Sunday because Opinionated Girl says she has to go to Israel. So apparently there's some sort of influencer trip coming. Well, I guess we'll see the details of it. So be on the lookout for that. Either that or she dodged us. I'm just kidding. I'm sure she's going to Israel. And we wish her safe and the best travels. But tonight we're going to be breaking down Pete Hegseth getting grilled on Capitol Hill over the Iran war. I will allow our newest member to comment first. Ratchet, what is your thoughts on what you just saw? Do you think that Pete Hegseth should know what the cost of this war is? Or do you think that's above his pay grade?
I mean, that's the least that he should know. I saw a clip of this earlier this week, and I just it just made me such a fan of Ro Khanna. I'm already a fan of Ro Khanna and how him and Thomas Massie have handled the Epstein files. And every time I see him, I'm always like, who is this diva? Like, I'm obsessed with him. He had Pete Hegseth on the ropes, and rightfully so. I think the questions that he asked him are basic knowledge of things that somebody like Pete Hegseth should know. So it was sad to just kind of see the deflecting, to see again the gaslighting of like, well, you know, we can't let Iran have nuclear missiles and this and that. It's like, yeah, but let's bring it back to the American people again. Let's make it who it is about and answer these basic questions. And he couldn't. So I think Ro Khanna did a really, really good job holding his feet to the fire.
Well, he said he don't want to hear you talk about the costs, and I'm about to play that clip because the cost of safety is what's more important. Let's watch.
On getting a nuclear weapon and get them to a point where they're at the table giving it up in a way that
So they
ensures
haven't
never have it.
So they haven't broken yet. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet for all of the.
Well, their nuclear facilities have been obliterated. Underground, they're buried, and we're watching them 24/7. So we know where any nuclear material
Reclaiming
might be.
my time for
we're
just
watching
a quick
at it.
second here. We had to start this war, you just said, 60 days ago, because the nuclear weapon was an imminent threat. Now you're saying that it was completely obliterated?
They had not given up their nuclear ambitions, and they had a conventional shield of thousands of missiles.
Operation Midnight
They're at the
Hammer
weakest
accomplished
moment.
nothing of substance. It
You're
left us
missing-
at
you're
exactly
missing
the
the
same
point.
place we were before. So
Their-
much so
their
that we
fac-
Kamal, what's your thoughts on everything you just heard? Did we isolate Iran's threat of nuclear, or is it still ongoing?
I don't know if they isolated it. I know one thing, they isolated these damn gas prices. These motherfuckers is high as hell. Goddamn. When y'all gonna get the shit over with? I mean, damn, Donald Trump last week made it seem like he slapped the hell out the Iran president. It was about to be over last week. Come on, can we get it together? Hey, I got a solution. At this point, Pete Hegseth, put the gloves on with one of them motherfuckers over there and throw some hands. All right? That'll satisfy me at this point. All right? Because all this talking shit y'all doing, goddamn, I'm tired of it. I'm ready this shit to be over with. Now, did they isolate it? I don't know. You feel me? Is it Peg Hegseth? Where the fuck his name is? He was stuttering in that other clip. Sounded like he was lying there. And in this clip we just saw, I don't know. He probably been bullshitting, but I don't know.
Well, gas prices are really high, but again, he was saying the cost is worth more for our safety. This is Kirsten Gillibrand trying to convince him that Americans don't want this, but he says Americans want this. Let's watch.
From the top, Secretary Hegseth, why do you continue to prosecute a war that the American people aren't behind?
First of all, I appreciate the opportunity for that closed session where we had a, unsurprisingly, very different discussion than we have here with the cameras on. We support this.
Because my job is to represent New Yorkers, and I can tell you, when I talk to them all across my state, they are furious, and they expect me to explain to them why they are furious.
And Senator, when I talk to Americans, and especially when I talk to the troops, they are grateful for a president who has the courage to take on this threat after 47 years of what Iran has done, targeting and killing Americans, and what it would mean to the world if Iran's nuclear ambitions were actually achieved. So the question I would ask to you and to others is, what is the cost of a nuclear-armed Iran? What is the cost to the American people if the world's most dangerous regime has a nuclear weapon?
But the truth is, they don't want war coming to this shore. And when you do a decapitation operation, the likelihood is going to be exchanged in the United States. There's no evidence that we are safer because of this war. We did not have any evidence that Iran intended to imminently attack this country in any way, shape, or form. So I disagree with your assessment that we are under threat.
Do you not believe them when they say death to America?
Listen, our adversaries use rhetoric all the time. What I'm concerned about is we are not safer, and I would just like to know why you have not sought the support of the American people, and 3 out of 5 Americans are against this war today.
I believe we do have the support of the American people, and we have briefed regularly what this mission looks like and why it's critically important that we undertake it. And I would remind you and this group that we're 2 months in to an effort. And many congressional Democrats, as I pointed out, want to declare defeat 2 months in. Iraq took how many years? Afghanistan took how many years? And they were nebulous missions that people went along with. This is different.
Gray, is this what the American people want? As somebody that actually went to Iraq, who served, again, I can't say it enough, thank you for your service. Is this what Americans want?
Some people are going to want it. Some people are going to agree with whatever Trump is doing. They're going to just stick with the status quo. So, but like she said in that clip, it's a third of the people that want it, right?
or a fourth of it's only a fourth of the people that actually agree with it. So if we look at polls, of course, mathematically, people don't agree with this. As far as Pete Hegseth himself, he was on Fox News for years. He should have better PR skills. He should be able to push back a lot more effectively. If you work in a media space like Fox News, you should have an understanding of this. You shouldn't be on Capitol Hill looking like a buffoon.
A buffoon. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be the contrarian tonight. I think he did better than Cash Patel ever has, Bondi ever has. He actually has been, to me, in my opinion, and y'all know I have been critical of this administration, but I've also been supportive. I think he surprised me. He did better. Once I play all the clips, y'all may agree, y'all may disagree. He did better than most of them. Kimberly actually looked like she agreed with me tonight. But
I mean, that's a low bar, but yeah, he has performed better than Pam Bondi and Cash Patel.
Yes.
He's better at gaslighting, sure.
Yes. I'm going to play this clip. This one's just for you, Kim. This was a heckler. Let's watch.
Skilled American workers who serve as the industrial muscle behind our warriors.
Further interruptions of our hearing will be treated in like manner. We appreciate the First Amendment rights of Americans to express themselves, but disruption of this hearing will not be tolerated.
Not the goof troop. I think he did good. But anyways, Kim, wait, could you hear what they said to him?
I didn't.
No?
Can you know what they said?
I got a better
No
clip.
war?
Hold on. There's
Was it
another
code
angle. I'm gonna play it 1 second. I think it was. Here we
Love
go. Let me play it.
Muscle behind our warriors.
I love that.
Further interruptions of our hearing will be treated in like manner. We appreciate.
Okay, did you hear that one? Now
You're
they called him a war
Mhm.
criminal, basically. You're despicable. You killed the kids, you killed the girls. Is he a war criminal in your opinion? Would you compare him to somebody who I've actively heard you say was a war criminal, which is Netanyahu?
Yeah.
Do you think they're both war criminals?
Yes.
And why?
Well, because he started a war. He's killing innocent people. He has blood on his hands. Whenever there's people protesting, I get goosebumps. Se me enchina la piel. I think that is so beautiful. You're standing up to power. I've done it a few times, but not anybody that's like that big. I would love to. But one of the things that really got me into politics was when there was this protester getting Donald Rumsfeld coming out of a hotel, and she's just in his face before they got smart with Secret Service. And she's just in his face yelling war criminal, like from the top of her lungs. And that really moved me. And that's actually what helped me come to the realization of war. What I will say about he is a war criminal. He has blood on his hands. He's part of the whole administration. Anybody who's involved with starting this war, continuing this war, gaslighting and lying to people about this war because they keep moving the goalposts. They can't even keep their story straight. They're war criminals. And I'll use another example. It's similar to when Madeleine Albright, who was Bill Clinton's Secretary of State, had an interview and they asked her if 1 million dead Iraqi people was worth the price of keeping Americans safe. And she said, yes, it was. This is what we're seeing now, but it's much worse now because they don't even try to lie to us with weapons of mass destruction. They just like make something up, especially the Trump administration, to fulfill their means, like the ends justify the means. And then whenever it doesn't make sense or it adds up, they change their narrative, they change the goalposts. It's getting harder to lie. It's getting harder to defend the shit. So under that standard, I mean, sure, he was more composed and he was better spoken. I mean, Pam Bondi's like so dull and literally dumb. Like she's like a dumb person. So compared to that and Kash Patel, who's always like coked out, he did handle himself better. He's more like más comportado. Yeah, sure. But I mean, yeah. And then also, I just want to add to the Madeleine Albright comment. There are still Democrats who think there's like a just war theory. There are still people who think that, sure, this is the price of our safety. But that's not the majority of Americans. And the majority of Americans do feel it in our pocketbooks. Not only is it more expensive for us, but it's actually what keeps us less safe. This is what the CIA calls blowback. The reason why there's blowback and why there's terrorism is because we start these wars of aggression. There has been no just war since World War II. These are all wars of aggression, and that's why there is terrorism. Fun fact, since 2001, 9/11, 2001, if you add up all the terrorist attacks, including 9/11, and every single terrorist attack that has been made against this country on this soil and outside of the soil, none of them have been from Iran. It's been Al-Qaeda, it's been ISIS, it's been what have you, but none of them have been from Iran. So here we are.
Fair enough. We're going to switch gears, guys. We're going to go to the next topic. We are talking about voting rights. So pretty much a landmark case